there's a fairy tale article that tries to humanize how to understand your coverage. And I could tell it in 90 seconds if you want.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's the story of Bill the Friendly Giant. And so if you can envision Bill the Friendly Giant looking at your property from above, and then Bill basically takes your house in his hand and he rips it out of the ground, everything that's left standing down below as your secondary structures, that's your coverage B. So things like fences, detached garages, sheds, pool equipment, stuff like that, that's your coverage B. He shakes it out over to the side. Everything that falls out, that's personal property. Stuff like couches and clothing and art and old Stanford football jerseys, all that stuff is down, on the ground, right? That's personal property. What he's got in his hand, that's A, that's your primary dwelling stuff. So everything that's permanently attached, like those plumbing fixtures, electrical fixtures, water heaters, things like that. And then, of course, you don't have a place to live like most people in the Palisades right now. That is then covered under D. And so D is basically loss of use. That's where that rental, not income, but rental reimbursement comes from, and things of that nature come out of D. And so it's just a way to think about it, because when you actually open up your insurance policy, you have something called a declarations page. It's 2 or 3 pages. And it's just like written in hieroglyphics. They try to humanize it as bit, but it's like, okay. And then the real thing, when you talk to your insurance company that first time and you file the claim, you want to ask for a certified policy jacket. And that's a big action, and trying to get that, because that has a lot of additional information in there. It's additional information around different endorsements you might have, being reimbursed for things like groceries and landscaping, and what the inflation arithmetic or math really is, the algebra, what that really is if you have inflation guard coverage. There's a bunch of stuff that sits in there that you'll want to get a handle on. If you can't read that, we have tons of information on the website in those articles. There's an article on every single endorsement we're aware of. There's an article about each coverage bucket. There's dozens and dozens of articles. So just on insurance.